Tonight, let us drift together into a world where the clash of ancient armies was guided by whispers of the divine. Across deserts, forests, and golden plains, soft signs from the heavens appear, gentle omens, flickering lights, and mysterious winds that seem to carry messages only the heart could hear. In these olden days, every shield, every sword, and every footstep in the dust held a secret story of faith, courage, and the quiet power of unseen forces. Let us move slowly through these moments, letting the echoes of distant battles become a lullaby for our minds. As the stars peek through the night sky, we will watch the divine guide warriors and kings, not with violence, but with the serenity of understanding, of purpose, and of destiny unfolding softly before us. If this calm journey helps you drift into sleep, subscribe to follow more stories of ancient whispers and divine signs. And feel free to share in the comments where you're listening from tonight, as our spirits travel together. We begin where the morning sun stretches across the battlefield, painting the dust in gentle shades of gold. The light slips slowly between the hills, soft and quiet, like a tender sigh. A breeze moves through the tents, brushing the warriors' faces with whispers that speak only to the soul. You float lightly over the earth, as if carried by the soft rhythm of the wind, feeling the calm pulse of a world waking slowly. The air holds a delicate warmth, and with it comes the faint scent of earth and dew. Tiny birds stir, their wings brushing the early light. They scatter across the horizon, their calls soft and sweet, as though the world itself is speaking in gentle tones. Every sound is measured, slow, and deliberate, a lullaby for the heart before the day fully awakens. Across the plains, banners sway with the soft wind, carrying colors that shimmer like candlelight in the morning. They move with a quiet grace as if bowing to something unseen. Each ripple of fabric is a message, subtle and fleeting, yet present for those who choose to notice. You drift above the field, feeling the stillness between each flutter and the sense of something larger, something unseen, guiding the rhythm of life here. The warriors, though still asleep, carry in their dreams the echoes of a distant knowing. A soft light touches the tips of their armor, warming them as if the sun itself leans down to watch over each one. Their breaths rise and fall in gentle waves, like the lapping of a quiet river. You move slowly among them, feeling the unspoken calm that flows through this ancient land, a presence that is not loud, not demanding, but constant and serene. In the spaces between the hills, the earth itself seems to breathe. Dust rises and falls in slow spirals, catching the sunlight in golden threads. Tiny animals stir, their movements soft and unhurried. Every leaf that trembles, every ripple in a distant stream carries a hint of meaning, a soft sign that guides the hearts of those who are awake enough to feel it. The battlefield is silent, yet full of gentle messages, waiting to be understood in a quiet, wordless way. You drift toward the horizon, where the first rays of sun touch the distant mountains. Light spills over cliffs and valleys, casting long shadows that stretch like gentle arms across the earth. Each shadow is a reminder of balance, of night giving way to day, of rest leading to action. And in this soft transition, there is a calm certainty, a quiet knowledge that all things move in their own gentle rhythm, guided by unseen hands. A hawk circles above, its wings wide and effortless. Its eyes gleam in the soft sunlight, scanning the ground below. Yet it moves without urgency, tracing wide arcs as if listening to a quiet message only it can hear. The wind carries whispers to its feathers, subtle signals that guide its path, and as it glides, the battlefield seems to pause, caught in a serene moment between stillness and motion. You feel the calm in its flight, a reminder that guidance can be gentle, unseen, and yet profoundly present. Among the soldiers, small signs appear in ways too soft to notice immediately. A leaf falls perfectly onto a shield. A ray of sun catches the edge of a helmet. A bird lands briefly on a tent pole, then lifts again, moving on. These moments pass like shadows across the mind, quiet, delicate, and deeply meaningful if one only pays attention. You float alongside them, feeling the soft energy of the day's first omens, and let the peaceful rhythm settle into your chest like a gentle heartbeat. The earth itself hums quietly. Stones are warmed by the sun. Rivers gleam like ribbons of silver. Every small sound, the brush of wind through grass, the soft croak of a frog, the distant call of a deer, is a gentle note in a slow symphony. It is a song of calm observation, of awareness without effort, of a world that watches kindly, guiding softly, without hurry or expectation. A temple sits beyond the hills, its walls aglow in the early light. Candles flicker inside, though no hand tends them yet. The soft smoke drifts outward, curling in spirals that seem to speak directly to the mind. There is no hurry here, no call to action, only the quiet presence of something larger than the day, larger than the battlefield, larger than any single moment. You watch it in silence, and the calm it brings seeps into your chest, spreading warmth along every thought. The soft murmur of a distant drum reaches the ears, almost like a heartbeat echoing across the land. It is slow, measured, deliberate, and yet invisible in its force. The warriors, even in sleep, respond with tiny movements, the shift of a hand, the gentle sigh of a breath, guided unknowingly by the rhythm that threads through the morning. You float in the space between sound and silence, feeling the tender presence that moves all things in harmony. As the morning grows, the sun climbs higher, yet the light remains soft, not harsh. It illuminates the battlefield without urgency, touching each tent, each river bend, each tree with gentle hands. Every detail is clear, yet calm. Every shadow is soft, every color muted in a way that feels safe and nurturing. You drift along these quiet paths, carried by the slow current of the morning, as if the world itself is breathing around you. A messenger bird lands lightly on a branch, tilting its head as if it knows something precious. It lifts again, its flight silent but sure, tracing invisible lines across the sky. You follow its path with your mind, feeling the slow guidance it offers. There is no rush, no pressure to understand, only the soft recognition that signs are everywhere, quietly shaping the day and the hearts of those who notice them. The battlefield, though vast, feels intimate. Each tent, each cluster of trees, each sparkling stream holds its own quiet story. The sun paints everything in soft shades of amber and rose. Dust swirls gently in the light, each particle a tiny witness to the calm, careful unfolding of the morning. You drift along with these tiny movements, feeling the gentle energy that binds all things, like a lullaby written into the very earth. Small prayers rise, unheard by many, yet carried clearly to the heavens. They slip from lips in half-dreams, carried in quiet intention rather than sound. Each one is a thread connecting the heart to the divine, a soft bond that weaves the seen and unseen into a slow, nurturing whole. You feel these threads as gentle warmth, wrapping the day and its people in a tender, protective embrace. The warriors begin to stir, not with urgency, but slowly as the sun itself rises higher. Their movements are careful, deliberate, and graceful, like the rhythm of a meditation. Every step is guided by unseen hands. Every glance carries a soft weight of awareness. You float among them, breathing in the calm, letting it sink deeply into your mind. And as the morning unfolds fully, the signs of the divine, soft, delicate, gentle, linger in every moment. The sun, the wind, the birds, the river, the light through the trees, all speak to patience, to care, to the quiet guidance that moves through the world. You feel this calm filling every part of you, settling your thoughts, slowing your heartbeat, and carrying you gently toward rest. Let us drift onward now, through the soft winds and golden light, through the quiet whispers of earth and sky. Let the morning's first omens wrap around your mind like a warm, soft blanket. The day moves slowly, guided by gentle hands, and you float safely in its care. Now rest, as the stars return in memory and the world continues its quiet song. Let the signs of the morning carry you, like a soft tide, into peaceful sleep, where dreams are calm, and the spirit moves gently, unharmed and free. Night lingers at the edge of dawn. The encampment is hushed, wrapped in a blanket of half-light. The air is cool, carrying the faint smoke of dying fires, and the soft breath of many sleepers. Canvas tents rise like pale hills across the plain, their outlines blurred by drifting mist. Between them, shadows stretch long and quiet, weaving across the earth as if alive. You drift gently over the still camp, moving like a whisper above the resting soldiers. Their armor lies stacked beside them, glinting faintly with the last memory of moonlight. The soft glow of embers warms the ground in circles of red, where shadows curl and bend, forming shapes that speak silently of the presence of something more. In this stillness, every movement feels sacred, every flicker of light carries meaning. The banners stir in the breeze, rising and falling with the rhythm of sleep. Their cloth moves like water, folding into ripples of shadow and light. To one who listens with the heart, each fold is a message, each ripple a sign. It is said among the ancients that spirits ride the banners, their unseen hands guiding the cloth to remind the living that they are not alone. Smoke rises in delicate threads from the last of the campfires. It twists into the air, forming patterns that vanish as quickly as they appear. For those with quiet eyes, these patterns resemble wings, faces, or the flowing curves of sacred symbols. Some believe the ancestors breathe through the smoke, sending signs to their descendants. Others say the smoke itself is prayer, carrying words beyond hearing into the sky. You float within its curls, feeling the calm weight of history woven into the air. The soldiers turn in their sleep, their faces softened by dreams. Some murmur, their lips moving as though speaking with those no longer seen. In the calm of night, boundaries grow thin, and the voices of loved ones long departed drift back into the mind like gentle streams. Their presence is not frightening but warm, like the hand of a parent on the brow of a child. The shadows around them seem to lean closer, guarding them with a quiet strength. A lantern swings in the distance, its flame small but steady. Each sway of the light casts long shadows across the camp, stretching the shapes of tents and trees. These shadows bend and blend, forming figures that stand watch. They seem like silent guardians, shifting yet constant, protecting the sleepers beneath their reach. The ancient stories speak of warriors who never left, whose spirits remain to shield the living in times of need. You sense their calm here, their patient vigil etched into the night. Clouds drift across the sky, veiling and unveiling the moon. With each change of light, the encampment transforms. Shadows stretch, dissolve, then gather again in new shapes. To those who trust in omens, this dance of cloud and moon is more than chance. It is the voice of the divine, painting messages across the earth in patterns of shadow. You drift in the rhythm of this slow unveiling, a meditation written in the sky. A soldier stirs awake, lifting his head for a moment. His eyes trace the moving banners, the play of smoke, the shifting clouds. He feels, though he cannot explain, the nearness of something vast, watching with care. His breath slows and peace washes over him, easing him back into rest. Around him, shadows fold like a blanket, sheltering him in their embrace. Beyond the camp, the forest waits, its branches heavy with night. Between the trunks, shadows gather like cloaked figures. To the dreaming mind, they are ancestors, walking softly, unseen yet close. The rustle of leaves, the soft call of an owl, all blend into a chorus of guidance. These are not sounds of fear, but lullabies of earth and sky, speaking of protection, patience, and trust. The ground itself holds shadows, stretching out like long rivers. They flow across the plain, leading toward the mountains in the distance. To the ancients, such shadows were paths laid down by the divine, silent roads for spirits to travel, unseen by day but clear under moon and starlight. As you drift above them, you feel their pull, soft and endless, carrying the weight of ages. Within the tents, dreams deepen. In those dreams, some see faces familiar, glowing gently in the dark. Others see rivers, stars, or the flight of birds. Each dream is a sign, a thread connecting the sleeper to the unseen. The shadows within their dreams and the shadows outside their tents are not separate. They are one fabric, woven together by the hands of the divine. The air grows still for a moment. Even the banners pause, hanging heavy as if listening. In that silence there is a presence, vast, calm, and eternal. It is felt in the chest, in the slowing of the breath, in the quiet peace that settles over the camp. The shadows deepen, embracing the silence like a sacred vow. You float in that moment, held by the stillness, as if the world itself has stopped to breathe. Then the breeze returns, soft and slow. Smoke lifts again, banners sway, leaves whisper. The night resumes its quiet song. Shadows stretch once more, patient and protective, marking the camp with their shifting language of signs. The soldiers remain unaware of how many guardians move silently around them, but their hearts are steadied by the calm, whether they know it or not. As the hours pass, the shadows shorten. The first faint silver of dawn begins to touch the horizon. The mist glows softly, blending with the pale light. Shadows dissolve into morning, fading but not gone. For in every sunrise they leave behind a memory, a whisper in the soul that says, "You are not alone, you are guided, you are safe." The soldiers will rise soon, but for now they sleep under the quiet care of unseen companions. The ancestors remain, their presence felt in the smallest movements of cloth, smoke, and cloud. The night has spoken, not with words but with shapes and silence. Its message is gentle, its guidance sure. Let the shadows linger in your own heart as you rest. Feel their calm weight, their protective embrace. They move not to frighten but to soothe, to remind you of the endless care that surrounds you. As the dawn begins to glow, you too may drift into deeper sleep, carried on the soft tide of shadow and light. Let us drift onward into the slow unfolding of morning. Rest now, as the stars return to memory and the night's quiet guardians keep watch in silence. The first light of dawn spills softly across the battlefield, touching the edges of tents and the tips of spears. A river winds quietly through the land, its surface smooth and gentle, catching the faint glow of the rising sun. You drift closer, moving with the rhythm of the water, as if the river itself is carrying you on a slow, tender current. The river is wide, yet shallow in places, and the stones beneath the water catch the light like tiny flames. Its gentle flow hums quietly, a steady, soft song that soothes the mind. The air smells of damp earth and water, faint and fresh, and every breath feels like it carries peace into the chest. You float above it, feeling the calm pulse of life that moves through its steady course. Along the banks, grass bends under the weight of dew. Tiny ripples slide outward from where a fish breaks the surface, leaving circles that fade slowly into the water. Birds gather at the edge, pecking gently and raising soft wings when startled. Even these small movements seem like part of a delicate message, a pattern written by the river itself, inviting those who watch to pause, to breathe, and to feel the calm of the world. The sun rises higher, scattering gold along the water. The river reflects both light and shadow, capturing clouds and sky as if it were a mirror for the heavens. Some say rivers speak not with words, but with memory, carrying the past within each ripple, reminding travelers of journeys long completed, of lessons whispered by ancestors, and of the guidance that comes to those who listen in quiet hearts. A soldier kneels at the edge of the river, cupping the cool water in his hands. He drinks slowly, savoring the stillness, letting the flow soothe the tension in his muscles. Though he does not speak, the river speaks to him in return. It tells him of patience, of clarity, and of the rhythm that carries all things forward without rush. You float near him, sharing in the gentle communication, feeling the quiet wisdom move like a soft wind through the mind. The river bends and twists through the plain, passing between hills and scattered trees. Its movement is soft, yet determined. It does not fight the stones that lie in its path. It moves around them, over them, carrying the energy of the land in quiet persistence. In this way, the river teaches without words. It shows that strength can be gentle, that guidance can be present without demand, and that the spirit moves most clearly when it flows like water, steady, aware, and calm. Mist rises from the surface, curling in thin, slow spirals. The air is cool, and the light dances on the mist in faint silver lines. Reflections shimmer as though the river carries not only water, but memory and hope. Some who listen closely claim they can hear whispers within the current, subtle suggestions, gentle encouragements, hints of strategy and clarity whispered into the hearts of those who wait and watch. You feel these whispers brush past your mind, soft as silk, filling the space with quiet understanding. Along the far bank, trees lean toward the river as if to drink from its wisdom. Their roots touch the water and leaves shimmer in the morning light. In the motion of each branch and the soft rustle of leaves, there is a rhythm, a language without words, telling of balance, patience, and the unseen harmony of all things. You float through this rhythm, letting it slow your thoughts, smoothing the edges of your mind, as the river guides you deeper into stillness. Small fish slip beneath the surface, their movements gentle and unhurried. Each ripple they leave behind widens slowly, touching the stones and reeds at the river's edge. The river responds, carrying their motion outward in quiet waves. Every movement seems measured, deliberate, yet entirely soft, as though the river itself holds nothing but calm intention. You drift in the flow, letting your chest rise and fall with the water's gentle heartbeat. A heron lands nearby, its long legs bending with care as it steps through shallow water. It tilts its head, observing the current, and then moves forward, gliding with the flow of the river. Its reflection shimmers like silver on the surface, doubling the serenity of the scene. In the ancient tales, birds like this are messengers, spirit guides who carry insight from one world to another. You float alongside it in imagination, feeling the quiet presence of guidance that moves silently through the day. The river curves around a bend, and there, sunlight spills like melted gold across the water. Shadows shift in gentle patterns along the banks, and you notice small stones that seem to glimmer with a soft, hidden light. These tiny glimmers are like signs from long ago, memories carried in the water, whispers of ancestors, and gentle nudges toward understanding. Each shimmer is subtle, not demanding attention, only inviting the mind to relax and the heart to feel the quiet wonder of presence. From somewhere upstream comes the soft sound of running water over a small fall. It is slow, measured, and calming like a distant drum. Each drop creates ripples that reach the banks, brushing against roots, stones, and reeds. The sound is steady and unhurried, soothing the chest, slowing the breath. It is a reminder that every force in the world moves in rhythm, that even water's energy is gentle when observed in patience, and that calm can be found in motion as well as in stillness. The soldiers along the river begin to stir softly, washing faces and hands in the cool water. Each movement is slow, careful, deliberate, yet filled with a quiet reverence for the presence of the river. Their eyes catch the sunlight on the water, the glint of stone, the shimmer of mist. They feel the calm, even without words, and in that feeling a connection grows, a link between earth, water, sky, and spirit. You float above them, sensing the tender bond that ties the living to the sacred flow of the river. Further along, the river narrows and shadows from the banks stretch across the water. Light and shadow mix like soft paint, forming patterns that twist and fold. Some say these patterns are the language of the divine, seen only by those who watch without hurry, without expectation. You drift in this slow weaving of shadow and light, letting it carry your thoughts gently downstream, softening tension, quieting the mind, and inviting dreams to arrive unhurried. A small canoe drifts lazily on the water, empty but present. Its wooden hull creaks softly, moving with the current as if guided by unseen hands. The river carries it steadily, never hurried, never pushed, always flowing in gentle purpose. Watching it, you feel the truth of patience and trust, that the path forward is always supported, that calm guidance comes to those who float with the current rather than resist it. Dragonflies hover above the surface, their wings catching the sunlight in flashes of gold and green. They move slowly, dipping and rising, tracing invisible patterns across the water. In many old stories, such creatures are symbols of transformation, of seeing clearly through reflection, of moving lightly through change. You drift beside them in thought, letting their movements smooth your awareness, like soft wind brushing across the skin. The river continues on, winding toward hills in the distance. Its surface mirrors the clouds above, the soft blue of sky, and the slow glow of the rising sun. In its reflection, you see not only the world, but a calm image of yourself, a mind and body carried by gentle flow, moving through the day with quiet patience, guided by invisible hands. The river's song is soft, unbroken, carrying reassurance in every ripple. Let the river's calm flow through your own chest now, Imagine the water moving beneath you, lifting each thought gently, carrying it downstream into stillness. Feel the rhythm of its movement settle in your heartbeat, sinking slowly with your breathing. The river does not hurry. It does not demand. It simply flows, and in that simple, soft motion you find rest. Let us drift onward along the river's path, into the gentle unfolding of morning. Rest now, as the water carries both memory and hope, and the spirit moves slowly, freely, and safely through the quiet world. The morning air is soft, filled with the slow warmth of sunlight spilling across the battlefield. You drift above the plains, carried gently by a quiet wind, and notice movement high above. Birds trace delicate arcs across the pale blue sky. Eagles and doves rise and fall, their wings catching the sun in gentle glimmers. Each motion is slow, deliberate, and full of calm, like brushstrokes across a wide, open canvas. The eagles glide effortlessly, their shadows stretching across the earth below. They move with quiet authority, powerful yet serene, teaching without words. In many old stories, these birds carry courage, reminding warriors and watchers alike that strength can be calm, patient, and mindful. You float above them, feeling the grace of each wing beat, the soft pulse of life carried in the rhythm of their flight. Doves follow, lighter, gentler. Their wings ripple in soft patterns, stirring small clouds of dust from the ground when they pass low. They are symbols of peace and guidance, moving steadily across the morning sky. Each turn and rise of a dove is like a note in a lullaby, a whisper from the unseen, telling the world that even in the midst of preparation and uncertainty, there is calm, quiet protection. The air smells faintly of wildflowers and morning dew. You drift closer to the soldiers below, who stir slowly from their sleep. Their eyes lift to the sky. Some notice the birds, some only sense them, but all are touched by the quiet presence, even if only in the soft rhythms of their breath. The sky is alive with signs, moving above in patterns both subtle and clear, guiding hearts without words. A gentle breeze lifts feathers caught on the wind, and you watch them swirl like tiny leaves. Each feather is a soft message, a reminder that guidance often comes silently, carried on the currents of air, moving from one place to another. You float with the breeze, letting it brush against your face, slow and tender, carrying the calm of the sky into your chest. Above a distant ridge, a pair of eagles circles in a lazy spiral. They rise and fall, their wings forming wide arcs that seem to touch the clouds. Some say the motion of such birds is like a mirror for courage, showing the way forward without urging or command. You watch their slow circles, feeling the rhythm settle into your mind, smoothing the edges of tension and bringing quiet to every thought. A soft shadow moves over a cluster of tents as a bird dips low, then rises again. The soldiers pause, sensing a shift in the air. Even without looking, they feel the quiet touch of unseen guidance. The world holds them gently, and in this soft attention, calm spreads like morning light across the heart. You drift closer, watching the interaction between earth and sky, seeing the subtle dance of protection, courage, and care. Clouds move slowly, casting shadows that stretch across the plains. The birds rise above them, tracing arcs between sun and shade. Each shadowed moment is like a soft sigh, a gentle pause that reminds you to breathe deeply, slowly, and fully. The sky teaches patience here, showing that movement can be calm, that power can exist in stillness, and that the heart is safest when it flows with the rhythm of the world. A hawk lands briefly on a distant rock, tilting its head, observing the quiet plains. Its feathers catch the sunlight in faint bronze hues. For a moment, it seems to look directly into your mind, reminding you that the presence of guardians is often invisible but always steady. You feel the hawk's silent watchfulness, carrying reassurance in its stillness. The doves continue their gentle flight, rising higher and gliding lower, weaving through rays of light that fall across the camp. They seem to dance with the morning air, each movement a soft whisper to those awake below. You drift among them, feeling the gentle currents of the wind, letting your thoughts settle like leaves on a slow river. Every flap of wing, every turn, is a lullaby for the spirit. Along the riverbank, reeds sway under the soft weight of the wind. Birds alight there for a moment, dipping their beaks in water or lifting off again, carried on invisible currents. Each small landing and departure is like a gentle message, a rhythm of arrival and release. The river mirrors the sky, reflecting birds in slow ripples that carry calm across the water. You float above both, carried by the twin songs of air and water, letting peace fill every thought. The sun climbs higher, scattering warm light across feathers and plain alike. Eagles soar, doves glide, and the battlefield feels quiet, protected, and tender. You watch as shadows shift beneath the wings, seeing how light and air shape the world softly, forming patterns that feel deliberate yet effortless. There is no rush, no demand, only the gentle unfolding of moments, one after another, as though the sky itself breathes with you. A lone bird lifts from the ridge, rising higher than the rest, then circles slowly, watching, waiting. Its shadow moves across the ground like a soft hand tracing the earth. Some say these solitary flights are omens of clarity, signals that guidance often comes in stillness, in quiet observation, and in patience. You drift with the bird, letting its calm journey guide your own breathing, slow and full. Further across the camp, a pair of doves land on a tent pole. They tilt toward each other, sharing a quiet space, their wings folding gently. Their presence is tender, reminding the heart that calm and care often arrive together. Even the smallest movements can carry the essence of protection and love. You float among them, sensing the soft energy, letting it rest in your chest, your mind, and your spirit. The battlefield is alive with the rhythm of wings and light. Shadows rise and fall as the sun moves across the sky, carrying with it quiet messages. Every bird that dips, rises, or circles carries a whisper. Courage is gentle, awareness is soft, protection is quiet. You drift among these messages, letting them fill the space of your mind like a slow, soothing tide. A hawk rises, calling softly, and the sound drifts across the plain. The note is calm, measured, and steady, echoing among the tents and tents beyond. It is a gentle reminder that sound, like sight, carries guidance when it is soft and patient. You let the echo brush your thoughts, easing any tension, letting it sink into your chest like warm sunlight on cool stone. The birds begin to ascend higher, moving with the currents of the morning wind. Their flight slows your thoughts, smooths your breathing, and softens the edges of any lingering tension. Each arc, each gentle flap carries the rhythm of the sky into the heart. You feel this calm presence, steady and unhurried, as though the world itself is breathing in concert with the wings above. Evening does not yet approach, but the day moves slowly. Shadows shift, light fades, and the wind carries the quiet notes of the sky. Birds trace arcs in the distance, always calm, always deliberate. You float above, watching their slow dance, and let their gentle movements guide your mind toward rest. There is nothing to hurry, nothing to chase, only the tender unfolding of moments, wing by wing, breath by breath. Let the birds carry you now in your mind, floating gently with their wings. Feel the calm rise in your chest. Let the rhythm of air and sky slow your heart. Let your thoughts drift like feathers, light and free, as the sun scatters warmth and the shadows lengthen slowly across the ground. Let us drift onward, through the arcs of wings, through the tender whispers of wind and sky. Now rest, as the stars return to memory, and the soft guardians of the air watch silently above, carrying courage, protection, and peace. Night drifts softly across the battlefield, carrying the hush of the day into shadow. The sky stretches wide above, deep and tender, painted with the first whispers of stars. You float gently through the quiet air, feeling the slow rhythm of darkness settle like a blanket over the world. The tents below rest under the dim light, and even the distant fires burn with soft, steady warmth. Stars begin to glimmer, one by one, like tiny lanterns hung across the heavens. Their light is pale, gentle, yet infinitely comforting. You drift beneath their glow, and the world feels larger, quieter, yet intimately close. Each flicker seems to pulse with a quiet purpose, a soft heartbeat that moves with the universe itself. The air carries the scent of cooled earth and distant smoke, mingling with the faint fragrance of night blossoms. From somewhere far away, a soft drum echoes, slow and steady like the beat of the world's heart. The stars respond in silent rhythm, their glow steady, unwavering, offering reassurance without sound. You drift in their calm, letting your mind slow to match the pace of the night. Above the tents, the first constellations emerge. Their forms are familiar from ancient stories, shapes of lions, serpents, and wandering travelers. In old teachings, these patterns were seen as guides, celestial markers for those on the earth below. Warriors of the past would look up and find courage in the arcs of the stars, a quiet trust in the order of the universe. You float among these stories, feeling their wisdom brush gently against your mind, soft as a sigh. A lantern swings gently near a sleeping guard, its light dancing across the soft curves of his face. The stars above and the lantern below create a tender symmetry, one earthly, one celestial. Both speak of guidance, both remind the heart that safety and purpose often arrive unseen, woven into the world in small, steady gestures. You float near him, letting the calm wash into your chest as though it were carried by the night itself. Soft winds stir the banners, lifting them slightly and letting them ripple across the darkened field. Shadows of the flag stretch toward the stars, as if reaching to meet the distant light. In some old teachings, the banners and stars converse silently, sharing omens and whispers that only attentive hearts can perceive. You drift within this quiet dialogue, letting the gentle motion and soft light ease your thoughts. From a distant hill, a fire flickers, tiny and steady. Its glow seems to echo the stars above, a mirror of the celestial flames on earth. The smoke rises in delicate curls, blending with the night sky as if carrying quiet messages upward. In ancient times, smoke and stars were companions in storytelling, guiding hearts, whispering promises, and offering comfort to those who lingered awake with fear or doubt. You feel this promise, soft and constant, as it settles around you. The constellations slowly shift as the night moves onward. Each subtle turn carries a story, a gentle reminder that the universe flows with quiet purpose. Warriors and travelers below may sleep, unaware of the guidance above, yet they are cradled in the soft pattern of cosmic order. You float above, carried in the rhythm of the stars, letting each flicker of light become a lullaby for your mind. A shooting star arcs silently across the sky, leaving a faint trace of silver. It does not startle, but whispers of change, of direction, of small miracles that move unseen through the world. In old legends, such flashes were omens of courage, signs that unseen forces were watching, guiding, and supporting those who acted with care and heart. You drift with the streak of light, feeling its quiet encouragement in your chest, like a gentle push toward calm. Night creatures stir softly. An owl glides without sound, a distant fox moves between the tents, but their presence is peaceful, blending with the stars and wind. Their quiet rhythms echo the constellations above, a soft dialogue between earth and sky. In the hush of the battlefield, life continues with gentle precision, reminding you that even in darkness, the world holds safety, order, and care. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens, a river of stars flowing endlessly. Its soft glow mirrors the river below, reflecting on still waters in pools between tents and trees. In some ancient stories, the Milky Way was a bridge, connecting earth to sky, the living to the ancestors, the present to the eternal. You drift across this bridge in your mind, feeling the subtle pull of both time and space, letting the rhythm of the river and stars carry your thoughts into gentle sleep. An eagle glides across the sky, its shadow fleeting on the ground. Its presence is calm, purposeful, and unhurried, like the movement of the universe itself. The celestial flames above seem to echo its flight, each twinkle a mirror of its silent journey. Warriors below, wrapped in blankets or armor, may not see it, yet they sense its watchfulness, a quiet reassurance that they are seen, guided, and protected. You float with the eagle, feeling the slow, steady pulse of reassurance in your chest. Small clouds drift lazily across the sky, softening the starlight in gentle patches. They move like slow sails, shaping the glow of the heavens into tender patterns. Each pause, each drift of cloud is like a breath, a reminder that even the grandest forces move with care, patience, and attention. You drift among the clouds and stars, inhaling calm, exhaling worry, letting the universe lull your thoughts to rest. Along the horizon, a faint hint of moonlight glows, cool and tender. It blends with the warm shimmer of the stars, balancing the night with soft harmony. In ancient teachings, the moon's presence was a guide for reflection, a reminder that even in darkness, light exists, and even in stillness, motion continues. You float within this harmony, letting it soothe your mind, ease your chest, and cradle your spirit. The night deepens and the stars seem to lean closer, their light warming the heart. Each twinkle carries a soft message. Courage moves quietly, purpose is gentle, and connection flows through all things. Warriors may dream, rivers may mirror their souls, and the wind may carry whispers of reassurance. You float with all of it, held in the tender rhythm of celestial care. From the distant hills, a faint fire twinkles again, reflecting in the eyes of those who watch. Its glow and the stars above form a gentle symmetry, grounding the vastness of the sky into a quiet sense of safety on the earth. You drift among this duality of light, feeling the harmony settle into your thoughts, your chest, and your mind like a slow, soft tide. The constellations slowly wheel across the sky, each movement measured, delicate, and calm. They remind the heart that even immense power moves gently when observed with patience. You watch, float, and breathe with them, letting the quiet rhythm of their arc guide you deeper into stillness. Let the stars now rest in your mind like soft lanterns, carrying warmth, guidance, and gentle reassurance. Let the eagle, the moon, and the distant fires weave a protective tapestry around your spirit. The night holds you tenderly, offering calm in its quiet, measured rhythm. Let us drift onward beneath the celestial flames, carried in the soft embrace of stars and moonlight. Now rest, as the universe breathes silently around you, and every heart below and above is cradled in quiet care. The sun has set behind distant hills, leaving the battlefield wrapped in a soft twilight. Shadows stretch gently across the tents, and the first stars begin to shimmer in the sky. You float slowly above the plain, feeling the quiet presence of the night. A gentle wind stirs, moving through the trees, across the grass, and around the scattered fires. It is calm, deliberate, carrying with it the hush of evening and the promise of rest. The wind carries more than cool air. It whispers softly, brushing against ears and cheeks as though sharing quiet messages meant only for those who pause to listen. Each gust is light, tender, moving in curves and spirals across the landscape. The soldiers in their tents feel it, even if only as a soft sigh brushing past their skin. The wind is a guide, carrying whispers of patience, caution, and gentle courage. You drift with it, letting the movement fill your chest with calm. From a distant ridge, the tops of trees sway in slow arcs. Leaves rustle like soft voices, each sound forming a tiny phrase that is almost like language, almost like a song. Some say that winds carry the words of spirits, that they pass through mountains and rivers, through temples and camps, bringing insight and reassurance to hearts open enough to feel them. You float among these whispers, letting each one brush past your mind and settle quietly into your awareness. A soldier stands at the edge of the camp, leaning lightly on his spear. His eyes lift to the sky, watching the stars, feeling the wind against his face. The gusts bend the fabric of his tent and move through the banners, carrying subtle signs. Some patterns are too faint to notice, yet the heart feels their presence. In ancient stories, these winds spoke of choices, of timing, of guidance that is both unseen and intimately close. You drift near him, sharing in the quiet comfort of this invisible counsel. The wind flows around a small stream, lifting ripples that dance across the water's surface. Each ripple seems to echo the gentle rise and fall of the air, carrying reflections of the moon and stars in delicate patterns. Some rivers are said to listen, to mirror the voices of the wind. And in this quiet harmony between water and air, you feel the rhythm of the world itself, a slow, steady pulse that carries patience and soft guidance. Above the camp, banners ripple in time with the gusts. Their movements are like gentle signals, painting invisible letters in the sky. In the old tales, such movements were the language of the earth and air, messages for those attentive enough to notice. The wind carries reassurance, and even without words, it calms the tension in the chest, smooths the forehead, and quiets the mind. You drift within this gentle communication, feeling each whisper pass softly through the spirit. Small fires burn along the edge of the camp, smoke rising in thin, curling spirals. The wind bends these spirals, carrying them gently upward and outward, blending them with the darkening sky. In some traditions, smoke is a messenger, a bridge between the earth and the heavens. Carried by the wind, it becomes a conduit for quiet guidance, for messages of protection, for comfort in unseen moments. You float with the smoke, letting its slow motion guide your breath, inhaling calm, exhaling tension. The wind carries scents as well, the faint perfume of night blossoms, the softened aroma of burning wood, the earthy tang of damp grass. These fragrances mingle softly in the air, grounding the senses and reminding the heart of the delicate balance in all things. Each scent seems intentional, like a gentle brush against the mind, signaling that calmness and clarity are present, even in the vastness of the field. You drift with each waft, letting your chest rise and fall with the soft rhythm. A hawk glides silently above, lifted by the same currents. Its wings move effortlessly, carried by the flow of the wind. It observes the land below with quiet authority, scanning the shadows and light. In ancient teachings, hawks were messengers of awareness, reminding travelers to observe without haste, to sense without fear, to act with patience. You float alongside it, moving slowly with the gusts, letting its calm vigilance wash through your mind like a cool breeze. The night deepens and the wind grows softer, more deliberate. It curves around tents, stirring blankets and catching the edges of shields. It moves through the soldiers' hair and along their necks, carrying the unspoken promise that each choice they make is seen, guided, and held. Even when no one speaks, the heart understands, and the spirit feels the gentle current that moves through all things. You drift among it, letting every sigh of air smooth the edges of thought and quiet the chest. From the distant hills, a thin ridge of mist rises, caught in the slow motion of the wind. The mist curls and bends, weaving patterns across the plain. It is delicate, almost invisible, yet its presence is palpable. In old stories, mist carried messages too, soft hints, gentle warnings, tender encouragements. It reminds the heart that even subtle things can hold meaning, that quiet movements can guide without demand. You float through the curling mist, letting it settle lightly across your shoulders, your arms, your mind. Above the camp, the stars shimmer more brightly, and the wind lifts their reflections in the pools of water between tents. Each flicker and ripple becomes a tiny signal, a reminder of alignment between earth, air, and sky. The night itself seems to breathe, slow, and measured, and you feel the harmony of the world moving gently through your body. Each gust, each rustle of leaf and banner is a soft hand, smoothing tension, whispering patience, and carrying calm. A pair of doves lifts from a low branch, carried by the wind into the open sky. Their wings move lightly, and the breeze catches them, guiding them without effort. In old tales, such flights were omens of clarity and peace, messages that even amid uncertainty, the spirit is guided and protected. You drift with them in thought, letting their gentle arcs trace quiet reassurance across the mind, easing every worry like water smoothing stones. The wind drifts across the hills, catching the edges of tents, banners, and even the light smoke of distant fires. Its touch is subtle, unhurried, and intentional. Every gentle gust carries a lesson of patience, of quiet observation, of trust in the unseen currents that move through life. You float with it, feeling its rhythm become your own, slowing the heart, softening thoughts, and inviting the mind to rest. A faint owl calls in the distance, and the note blends with the sighing wind. Its voice is calm, deliberate, a gentle reminder that the night itself watches over the camp. The owls, the mist, the breeze, and the stars are all companions, forming a quiet chorus that lulls the spirit and soothes the heart. You drift with this chorus, letting every sound, every sigh, every ripple of air carry your awareness toward rest. The wind rises slightly, brushing along the river and the open plains. It carries coolness and softness, a tender touch across the shoulders, the face, the mind. Each breath of wind is deliberate yet gentle, reminding the heart to pause, to notice, and to trust. Even the faintest rustle of grass is part of the same gentle song, a lullaby whispered by the earth itself. You float through it all, letting the currents guide your breathing and ease the tension of the day. The night deepens further and the winds calm once more. They move slowly, tenderly, weaving through the camp in gentle arcs. You float in their path, carried softly, letting the whispers sink into your spirit, your chest, your mind. Each subtle gust carries reassurance. The heart is guided, the choices are seen, and the spirit is safe. Let the wind now fill your mind and chest, moving like a soft hand through the thoughts and cares of the day. Drift with it, slow and steady, letting it carry every worry into the dark earth below. Let each sigh of air become a lullaby, each rustle a gentle stroke of peace, until the mind is calm and the body feels weightless in the quiet night. Let us drift onward, carried by the whispering winds, beneath stars and over rivers, into the tender embrace of night. Now rest, as the spirit listens softly, and every heart, earth, and sky moves together in gentle care. The night stretches deep and wide, draped in a quiet darkness that feels soft against the eyes. Above, stars shimmer gently, their pale light scattered across the sky like tiny lanterns guiding distant travelers. You float slowly through this calm expanse, the air cool and tender against your skin, carrying the faint sense of grass and softened earth. Somewhere far away, a fire glimmers, its warmth steady and low, reflecting in the calm eyes of those who watch. On the horizon, a figure appears, distant and quiet, moving without hurry. There is no rush, no clamor of announcement, only a slow, deliberate presence, blending with the shadows and the night. The figure walks lightly, almost like a breeze taking form, leaving a trail of subtle signs that catch the eye if one watches closely. Footprints press softly into the damp soil, glowing faintly in the moonlight. They seem to invite reflection, a gentle pause, and a soft understanding that guidance often comes without sound. The wind lifts around the figure, carrying faint whispers through the trees and over the grass. Each rustle of leaves feels like a quiet message, a tender word spoken to the heart. The soldiers in their tents do not see it, yet some feel the calm that the figure brings, a steady reassurance that even in darkness, there is presence, intention, and care. You float near the figure, letting its silence and subtle light settle over your chest like a warm, gentle hand. Symbols appear along the path, a curved line etched into the soil, a glimmer on a stone, a shadow forming an almost recognizable pattern. These are quiet markers, offering insight without demand, guidance without pressure. In old teachings, such subtle signs were messages from spirits, ancestors, and divine forces, reminding travelers and warriors to pause, to notice, and to trust the unseen currents that move through life. You drift along the trail of symbols, letting their soft light soothe your mind. The moon rises higher, bathing the field in cool silver. The figure's movements are deliberate and unhurried, leaving tiny glimmers in its wake, reflections in water, flashes of light on metal, a soft glow that seems to breathe with the night itself. Each small flicker becomes a reminder. Guidance is often quiet, tender, and patient. You float with the glimmers, letting their soft rhythm synchronize with the gentle rise and fall of your breath. A distant owl calls, and its voice blends with the faint sigh of the wind. The figure pauses for a moment, standing where shadow and moonlight meet, as if listening to the conversation of night. Footprints continue to trace delicate paths across the earth, connecting tents, fires, and the still river that mirrors the stars. The night feels alive, calm, and purposeful, a tapestry woven of silence, light, and gentle motion. You drift within it, your mind slowing with every step of the silent messenger. From a low hill, the figure's presence seems to ripple across the encampment. The fires flicker softly, as if bowing to the quiet authority of this observer. Smoke rises in thin, curling streams, and the wind carries it gently across the tents. Ancient teachings spoke of messengers who appear without words, whose touch on the world is almost invisible, yet deeply reassuring. You drift among these motions, letting the calm enter your chest and settle your thoughts. The stars above move slowly, wheel-like, across the deep sky. Their faint shimmer mirrors the tiny lights left behind by the figure, small, steady, and comforting. Every footprint, every glimmer, every shadowed pattern is part of the same rhythm, a quiet song of guidance and protection. You float with this rhythm, inhaling its stillness, exhaling any lingering tension, letting each soft motion calm your mind. Along the river, the figure pauses, leaving a trace of light that dances on the water's surface. The reflection shimmers slowly, a gentle mirror of the sky above. The water moves in response to wind and gravity, curling and flowing in soft arcs. In ancient stories, rivers were thought to carry messages between earth and sky, between hearts and spirits. You drift beside the water, letting the soft, reflective light settle around you, a quiet lullaby for the mind and chest. A hawk glides overhead, silent and deliberate. It moves within the same currents of wind that cradle the figure below. Its shadow passes over the encampment, brief and gentle, reminding the hearts of those asleep and awake alike that protection moves quietly, often unseen. You float with the hawk, its calm presence blending with the silent movements of the messenger, creating a tender chorus of reassurance. The figure leaves small symbols etched into the soft earth, spirals, curves, and subtle patterns that speak without speech. Each one is a mark of attention, of care, a sign that even in vastness, each choice, each step is noticed and guided. Ancient wisdom tells that the divine moves in these small gestures, unseen yet profound, whispering calm into the hearts of those willing to notice. You drift among these signs, letting each imprint smooth your thoughts and quiet your chest. From the distant hills, a faint ridge of mist rises. The figure passes through it effortlessly, the mist curling gently around its feet. The air feels cool, soft, and alive, carrying the smell of damp earth and night flowers. The mist seems to enhance the glimmers left behind, amplifying the subtle light of footprints and symbols, and weaving a serene tapestry across the battlefield. You float with the mist, letting its slow curves and gentle folds wrap around you like a blanket. The moon climbs higher, illuminating the silent messenger as it continues its careful journey. There is no hurry, no announcement, only the soft assurance of presence. Each movement, each pause, each delicate gesture carries a whisper of calm and trust. You float alongside, breathing in the quiet, letting the rhythm of night settle your thoughts into gentle stillness. A soft breeze lifts from the river, carrying the sense of the night along with it. The figure's path seems intertwined with the wind itself, as though guided by it, moving in harmony with the slow sighs of the world. In old teachings, such harmony between air, water, and light symbolized alignment with the spirit, a gentle confirmation that the unseen forces of care are always present. You float among this harmony, feeling your mind and chest lighten with each breath. The stars, the river, the mist, and the silent messenger all move in a quiet dance. Each flicker, ripple, and shadow blend seamlessly, creating a soft rhythm that touches the heart. Even the smallest details, the curve of a footprint, the reflection of a glimmer, the sway of a branch, carry a tender reassurance. All is observed, all is guided, all is held. You drift among this gentle chorus, letting it lull your spirit and mind toward rest. The figure pauses at a hilltop, looking across the camp with calm eyes. The glimmers of light it leaves behind reflect faintly in every corner, reminding all who notice that presence can be quiet, subtle, and profoundly comforting. Even when unseen, guidance flows through the world like rivers beneath the earth, like air through leaves, like stars across the sky. You float in this understanding, letting the soft awareness ease every lingering worry. Footprints and glimmers gradually fade as the figure moves onward, blending with shadows and moonlight. The stars continue their gentle wheel across the night. The wind sighs softly through trees and grass, and the fires flicker low in warm patterns. Every heart in the encampment, seen and unseen, rests a little easier, cradled by the quiet messenger's careful presence. You drift with it, letting every motion and glow seep into your spirit and chest. Let the quiet now fill your mind and heart, carrying reassurance, gentle guidance, and calm. Drift with the whispers of the wind, the light of the glimmers, and the silent care of the messenger. Let each soft footprint, Each gentle symbol, each flicker of light soothe your thoughts and ease your chest. Let us drift onward beneath the stars and through the soft night, carried by the tender presence of guidance that speaks without words. Now rest, as the silent messenger continues its watch, and every heart, earth, and sky moves together in quiet care. The hills rise slowly in the distance, their dark outlines softened by the fading light of twilight. A gentle hush drapes across the battlefield, the air carrying the scent of grass and damp earth. Far above, perched upon a quiet rise, a temple glows softly, its stones bathed in the gentle amber of the setting sun and the silver shimmer of the first stars. You float closer, letting the calm of its presence reach your chest and mind. The temple is still and silent, yet it feels alive, as if every stone, every arch, every carved figure breathes slowly in the quiet night. Candles flicker faintly along its paths, their warm glow reflecting in the polished floors and gentle pools of water that surround the temple's base. The light moves softly with the evening breeze, dancing across the steps and courtyards, inviting those who approach to feel peace without needing to speak a word. Soft footsteps echo lightly along the stone paths. Pilgrims move with deliberate care, their heads bowed, their hands resting lightly upon smooth surfaces, feeling the quiet pulse of the place. Warriors, tired from long days, pause at the threshold, letting their armor clink softly as they take careful breaths. All who enter feel the gentle encouragement of the stones, the quiet wisdom that the temple offers. You drift among them, feeling the calm settle deeper with every step. The air carries faint sounds, the rustle of robes, the slow ripple of water in small fountains, the far-off call of night birds. Each sound is a note in a soft melody, a lullaby composed by the temple itself. In ancient teachings, such places were said to hold echoes of the divine, where walls and columns remembered the prayers of countless generations. You float gently through these echoes, letting their warmth brush your mind and settle your thoughts like soft sand. Inside the temple, shadows move gracefully across the walls, forming patterns that feel like gentle guidance. Each curve of a carving, each angle of a column, seems to breathe quiet reassurance. Some say that temples of old held the memory of the spirits who watched over travelers and warriors alike. The stones themselves whispered encouragement, nudging the weary to pause, to reflect, and to trust. You float along the halls, feeling the gentle pulse of this presence, and your chest rises and falls with ease. A small fountain sits at the center, its water glimmering with the reflection of candlelight and the first stars. The liquid moves slowly, curling and bending in arcs that seem almost deliberate. In old stories, water was thought to carry messages between earth and spirit, carrying quiet blessings and soft advice. You drift near the fountain, letting its gentle ripples soothe every thought, every tension, letting the soft sound fill your chest with calm. Outside, the hills slope downward to the battlefield. From this height, the tents, banners, and scattered fires seem distant and muted. The glow of the temple softens the view, making every detail appear tender and gentle. You float along the edges of the temple, letting your gaze rest on the horizon, where warriors move quietly beneath the stars, their actions guided by currents of courage and patience, even if they cannot see the full picture. The evening deepens. A breeze moves softly through the open corridors, carrying faint scents of incense, night flowers, and cool stone. Each inhalation brings calm, each exhalation releases tension. The walls of the temple seem to respond to the breath, echoing softly, as if breathing alongside you. In ancient tales, such temples held energy that aligned the hearts of all who entered, creating a gentle rhythm between spirit and world. You drift within this rhythm, letting it steady the mind and chest. Candles flicker along the stairways, guiding gentle movements. Pilgrims pause before each flame, letting its warmth touch their hands, their faces, their thoughts. Some trace their fingers lightly over the carved stones, feeling history beneath their touch, feeling the quiet encouragement of countless souls who have come before. You float along the path, letting every light, every shadow, every touch carry a whisper of reassurance into your spirit. From the highest tower, the temple overlooks the distant river. Its surface mirrors the stars, the gentle glimmers of fire, and the soft glow of the temple itself. The reflection moves slowly with the wind and the current, forming patterns that seem almost like a language of calm. In sacred stories, such mirrors of water carried messages to the heart, allowing the mind to read without words, to rest without hurry. You drift along the river's reflection, letting the soft movement fill your awareness and ease your chest. The night birds call softly, their voices blending with the gentle rustle of leaves. Every sound, every shadow, every light is part of a delicate symphony, a lullaby of place and presence. The temple hums quietly with history, each stone and candle carrying whispers of care, guiding travelers and warriors alike toward stillness. You float through this symphony, letting its gentle cadence sink into every corner of the mind. Along the outer gardens, petals of night blossoms bend softly under the evening breeze. Their fragrance drifts lazily, carrying calm into the temple's open courtyards. Some say that flowers held the memory of prayers, releasing it slowly as they swayed. You drift among the blooms, letting the fragrance wash over you, softening the shoulders, calming the chest, quieting the mind. Soft shadows stretch long across the temple floors, merging with candlelight and the dim glow of lanterns. Every step of a pilgrim, every gentle sway of a branch outside, every ripple of water carries gentle reassurance. In the quiet of this temple beyond the hills, even the smallest movements feel significant, each a tender reminder that presence itself is a form of care. You float through these shadows, letting their soft shapes cradle your spirit. The moon rises higher, casting a cool silver light that mingles with the warm candle glow. The combination of soft warmth and gentle coolness wraps the temple in a serene embrace. The stones, the fountains, the flowers, the soft movement of air, all work together in a slow, measured rhythm that touches the heart. You drift with it, letting the temple's quiet pulse become your own, steadying every breath, easing every thought. At the temple's highest steps, a quiet figure kneels, offering a soft prayer. No words are spoken aloud, yet the presence is palpable, a tender reflection of hope and gratitude. The stones seem to absorb and radiate this gentle energy, spreading it slowly down the steps, across the courtyards, and toward the distant battlefield. You float within this gentle wave, letting it carry calm into every corner of awareness. The fires in the temple's courtyards glow faintly, steady and warm. The soft flicker reflects across polished stone, in pools of water, and along the edges of carved pathways. It feels as though each flame carries its own quiet message: patience, courage, reflection, and trust. You drift among the fires, letting the glow touch your face and chest, wrapping you in calm and gentle warmth. Soft wind moves once more through the open halls and gardens, carrying the fragrance of incense and flowers. It bends lightly around corners, stirring shadows, lifting petals, and creating a tender, flowing rhythm. Each movement is deliberate, yet gentle, as if the temple itself is breathing alongside you. You float with the rhythm, letting every sigh of air, every flicker of flame, and every soft sound weave calm through your chest and mind. The stars wheel slowly across the sky, mirrored in the quiet pools of water. The temple glows gently beneath them, a steadfast presence in the soft twilight. Pilgrims pause at thresholds, warriors rest by the fountains, and every heart feels the quiet encouragement that the stones offer. You drift among all of it, letting every detail, every light, every whisper of air guide your spirit into a slower, softer rhythm. Let the calm of the temple now settle fully in your mind and heart. Drift with the gentle lights, the soft shadows, the flowing water, and the tender whispers of night. Let every breath sink with the quiet rhythm of stone, flame, and star, letting your chest rise and fall with the ease of the evening. Let us drift onward, beyond hills, beneath stars, and through the gentle glow of the temple. Now rest, as the stones breathe soft encouragement, and every heart, earth, and sky moves together in serene harmony. The night deepens, soft and velvety, with the gentle sigh of the wind curling through the tents. The battlefield rests under a quiet moon, its silver glow touching the earth with tender light. Amid the calm, small fires flicker across the encampments. Their flames dance slowly, casting long, soft shadows on the surrounding tents, trees, and the earth beneath. You float among these lights, feeling their warmth ripple gently through the cool night air. Each campfire seems alive, not with noise or hurry, but with a quiet spirit. Sparks rise softly, curling into the night like tiny fireflies. The flames whisper stories of courage, patience, and reflection. Soldiers pause beside their fires, sitting with crossed legs or resting on soft blankets of grass. Their eyes follow the dancing flames, and a gentle calm enters their hearts. You drift with them, letting each flicker guide your thoughts into stillness. The air carries faint scents, the warmth of burning wood, softened earth, and distant night flowers swaying in the breeze. Every inhale brings calm, every exhale releases tension. In ancient teachings, fire was a sacred companion, a mirror for the mind. It reflected the inner self, revealing courage where doubt lingered, and wisdom where uncertainty had settled. You float beside the flames, letting their slow, rhythmic movements illuminate the quiet spaces within. Some flames curl high, reaching toward the sky, while others bend low, whispering secrets to the earth. Each one has its own rhythm, a gentle dance that seems to pulse with life and memory. The soldiers beside the fires watch quietly, their minds softening with the gentle warmth. Even the smallest movement, a spark rising, a flame bending, carries subtle guidance, a message of calm and patience. You drift closer, letting each flicker imprint quiet reassurance into your chest. A distant drum hums softly, carried by the night air, blending with the crackle of the fire. It is not urgent, not loud, but steady and gentle. The sound seems to sync with the rhythm of the flames and the soft rise and fall of breath. In old stories, drumming with fire brought clarity and focus, helping warriors remember their inner strength. You drift in time with it, letting your thoughts slow, your chest rise and fall with each gentle beat. Around the campfires, shadows stretch and sway across the earth. They move in harmony with the flames, bending and flowing like a quiet river of dark and light. In ancient teachings, shadows held memory. They remembered where courage had walked, where patience had lingered, where wisdom had spoken softly. You float among these shadows, letting their gentle presence ease your mind, as if each one carries a tender hand to calm the heart. Some soldiers throw small stones or sticks into the fire, watching them spark and vanish. Each flicker seems to speak of impermanence, of moments passing gently and softly into the night. In the stories of old, the fire's dance reminded hearts that all things shift, that worries and doubts, like sparks, rise and dissolve. You float alongside, letting each rise and fall of flame reflect the soft rhythm of your own thoughts. The moon drifts slowly across the sky, its silver light mingling with the amber of the fires. Water in small streams and puddles reflects both, creating a tender mirror of warmth and calm above and below. The soldiers' faces glow softly in this mingled light, each one caught between shadow and radiance. You float quietly among them, feeling the gentle balance of night, fire, and reflection settle your chest. Some flames illuminate carvings or worn symbols on stones near the campfires. These markings, though faint, seem alive in the firelight. Ancient warriors believed such symbols carried wisdom, messages from ancestors, or reminders of sacred paths. The soldiers watch them quietly, feeling their guidance without words. You drift with these glimmers of meaning, letting the calm understanding they bring seep into your thoughts. A soft wind stirs the night, lifting sparks gently from each fire. The breeze carries the smell of earth and embers, brushing lightly against your skin. Each tiny spark rises, a small messenger from the fire, a reminder that wisdom is often subtle, that courage can be quiet, and that reflection can illuminate the path within. You float among these rising lights, letting them carry the calm deeper into your mind. Some soldiers quietly shift their gaze from the fire to the stars above, tracing faint constellations in the sky. The stars mirror the flames below, soft points of light scattered across a dark canvas. In sacred tales, stars and fire were companions, reminders that the same light exists within and above. You float among the sparks and stars, letting the gentle reflections draw stillness into every part of your chest. The crackle of burning wood becomes a slow rhythm, each pop and hiss a gentle note in the night's lullaby. Soldiers lean back, letting the warmth and the light calm every muscle. The fire's glow stretches across faces, tents, and earth, blending with the silver touch of moonlight. You float within this harmony, letting the combined glow of fire and moon ease your thoughts and soften your breathing. The rivers nearby shimmer faintly, reflecting both moon and fire. Water flows slowly, curling around stones, brushing past roots, carrying the gentle rhythm of night onward. Ancient teachings said that water and fire together taught balance, the calm reflection of water with the attentive spark of flame. You float beside the river, letting the soft mirrored light deepen your awareness of peace and rest. Some soldiers hold small offerings, leaves, seeds, or smooth stones, placing them carefully into the flames. Each offering burns gently, releasing soft scents and small sparks. In the old stories, this was a way to release worry, to share a silent prayer, or to offer gratitude. You float among these gestures, letting each one create a tender wave of calm that settles gently in your chest. From the distant hills, a faint silhouette moves, another figure observing quietly. Not a soldier, not a messenger, but a calm presence blending with the night. Their shadow passes across the campfires briefly, unnoticed by many, yet it seems to fold into the rhythm of fire, wind, and water. You float alongside, feeling the invisible care, the quiet assurance that the night itself holds watch and soft guidance. The flames bend, rise, and curl, as if speaking softly to the heart. Each motion, each flicker, each small whisper of warmth reminds you of the tender presence of courage, patience, and wisdom. You float with this rhythm, letting the quiet reflection of fire carry away any lingering tension, any fleeting worry. The night deepens, and every flicker becomes a lullaby for the chest and mind. Some soldiers close their eyes, letting the firelight dance across their lids. They breathe slowly, letting the warmth and the gentle motion of flame fill their minds with stillness. In the soft teachings of old, this was a moment to connect with the inner self, to hear the quiet voice of guidance, to feel the tender pulse of life and calm. You float among them, letting the soft glow wash over your thoughts and chest. The stars wheel slowly across the sky above, and the fires mirror them below. Sparks rise, flames bend, and shadows sway, forming a gentle rhythm that carries through the camp. Every flicker, every rise of smoke, every soft glimmer reminds the heart that reflection and guidance are often quiet, subtle, and tender. You float with the rhythm, letting each movement carry your mind and chest into stillness. Let the calm of the fires now settle fully into your thoughts and spirit. Drift with each flicker, each gentle spark, each soft reflection of flame in water or eye. Let every rise and fall of fire and breath synchronize with your chest, creating a rhythm of stillness, courage, and quiet reflection. Let us drift onward beneath stars and soft night winds, carried by the gentle glow of fires that speak without words. Now rest as the flames settle low, and every heart, every shadow, every spark moves together in serene reflection. The night stretches wide, soft and still, with the gentle silver of the full moon spilling across the quiet battlefield. Its light drapes over tents and armor, painting each surface with a tender, otherworldly glow. You float slowly among the camp, feeling the calm sweep through the air like a soft, invisible hand. Every breath carries the night's coolness, and every heartbeat matches the rhythm of the world at rest. The moonlight catches on folds of cloth and metal, tracing patterns that seem to move and breathe. Shadows stretch long and slow, curling gently beneath the tents, around the wheels of carts, and over the quiet figures of resting soldiers. The night is hushed, yet alive. Each shadow holds a message, a silent sign, a gentle reminder of unseen guidance. You drift among them, feeling their subtle wisdom brush against your thoughts. Above, stars shimmer faintly, scattered like distant lanterns in the deep navy of the sky. They twinkle softly, reflecting the silver glow of the moon below. In old teachings, the night sky was a canvas for messages, a quiet guide for those willing to observe. Every flicker of light, every soft shimmer becomes a sign of protection, patience, and care. You float with these tiny lights, letting their calm ease every corner of your mind. The tents sway gently in the soft breeze. Linen brushes against linen with a faint whisper like the voice of the night itself. Soldiers stir lightly, adjusting their blankets, moving in rhythm with the wind. The moon catches their faces for a brief moment, illuminating calm, contemplative expressions. You drift among them, noticing how the light seems to reach into their hearts, quietly reminding each one of courage and the power of reflection. Near the center of the encampment, a small stream reflects the moon above. Its water glides over smooth stones, creating ripples that scatter light in gentle patterns. The stream murmurs quietly, carrying the silver glow toward unseen valleys. In sacred stories, flowing water beneath moonlight was believed to carry whispers from the divine. You float beside it, letting each ripple soothe your thoughts and wash away the remnants of tension. Patterns appear in the armor of the soldiers as they rest beneath the moon. The silver light glints along edges and curves, forming shapes that seem almost deliberate, like soft symbols left by unseen hands. Some see crescents in the reflections, others imagine gentle lines that point toward quiet paths or safe journeys. These are the omens of the night, soft, reassuring, and without sound. You drift among them, feeling each one settle into a space of calm within. The wind shifts, stirring the branches of nearby trees. Leaves brush together softly, whispering secrets in rhythms the night understands. Shadows bend with the breeze, stretching and retreating in delicate waves. In the teachings of old, the wind itself was a messenger, carrying advice, warnings, and blessings without uttering a single word. You float through these whispers, letting their gentle touch ease every thought and worry. Small fires flicker across the camp, their warm light mingling with the silver of the moon. Each flame is quiet, yet alive with a gentle pulse. Sparks rise and curl into the night, like tiny echoes of the stars above. Soldiers watch the fires with relaxed eyes, letting the warmth and gentle glow cradle their minds. You drift alongside them, feeling the calm pulse of fire and moonlight merge into one serene rhythm. The moon casts subtle shapes on the ground, stones, and tents. Each one seems to hold a story, a hidden hint of guidance or comfort. Soldiers pause in their rest, noticing the soft alignment of light and shadow, perhaps without words, perhaps only in quiet feeling. In ancient tales, these signs were the way the divine communicated, through gentle observation, reflection, and the attentive heart. You drift among these patterns, letting them settle in your chest like a slow, comforting breath. From a distance, a lone owl glides across the silvered sky. Its wings move silently, catching the moonlight on each feather. The bird circles, then vanishes into the horizon, leaving a quiet stillness behind. In sacred stories, nocturnal creatures often carried wisdom, unseen yet guiding those below. You float with the memory of its passage, letting it remind your mind that gentle guidance is always present, even when unseen. The moonlight pools in small hollows and paths between tents, creating soft rivers of silver across the earth. Each path seems deliberate, an invitation to pause, to observe, to rest. Soldiers walk lightly, noticing the calm luminescence beneath their feet. In the old teachings, such pathways were symbols of spiritual guidance, subtle yet clear for those willing to follow. You drift with each step, letting your own thoughts align with this quiet, deliberate motion. Small stones shimmer faintly under the moon, their surfaces reflecting the light like tiny mirrors. Soldiers pick them up and roll them in their palms, noticing the coolness, the faint patterns, the way the moon transforms the ordinary into something sacred. Each stone becomes a talisman of calm, a reminder of patience, courage, and the gentle presence of unseen guidance. You float beside them, letting the reflection of light on stone embed serenity into your heart. A gentle drumbeat begins far across the field, soft and steady like a distant heartbeat. It blends with the crackle of small fires, the whisper of wind, and the soft murmur of the stream. In old tales, such rhythms were the pulse of night itself, carrying messages of protection and encouragement. You drift with the rhythm, letting each beat harmonize with the rise and fall of your own chest, filling your mind with gentle peace. The soldiers pause beside the moonlit stream, tossing leaves or smooth stones into the water. Each movement sends ripples outward, distorting the reflection of the moon just briefly before calm returns. In ancient teachings, this act was a meditation, a quiet offering to the divine, releasing worry and inviting clarity. You float among these ripples, feeling the soft waves carry away tension and bring calm in their place. Some soldiers lift their faces toward the moon, letting its silver light wash over them completely. Their eyes close gently, eyelids catching the gleam in soft arcs. Each inhalation draws the cool night, each exhalation releases what is no longer needed. The moonlight touches every heart, illuminating a quiet path forward, a reminder that the divine watches softly, guiding with tenderness. You drift alongside, letting each breath and shimmer fill your chest with serene light. Soft shadows shift across the tents, streams, and stones, moving with a rhythm known only to night. You notice the subtle harmony of shadow and light, how each blends without hurry, without urgency. In ancient beliefs, such interplay was a gentle teacher, showing that guidance can be quiet, patient, and always present. You float among the shifts, letting their calm lessons sink gently into your mind. The moon arcs slowly, trailing light across sleeping soldiers, streams, and campfires. Its silver glow mingles with flickering firelight, painting a soft mosaic of warmth and cool, reflection and presence. Each movement of light, each subtle pattern of shadow becomes a quiet omen of protection, patience, and gentle guidance. You float within this interplay, letting it lull your mind deeper, resting softly in its rhythm. A distant branch bends in the wind, and a leaf drifts slowly, brushing the surface of a stream before settling on the bank. Even the smallest motions carry messages, reminders that the divine moves in quiet ways, always present, always watching. You drift with these subtle omens, letting each one remind you of safety, calm, and gentle care. Now the camp sleeps fully beneath moon and stars, each soldier held softly by the quiet night. Fires burn low, streams murmur gently, and shadows stretch across the earth in tender arcs. You float among them, feeling the soft hum of moonlight, the gentle sway of wind, and the quiet pulse of life all around. Let the calm of the moon, the gentle signs of light and shadow, and the quiet rhythm of the night fill your chest. Drift slowly with each flicker, each ripple, each gentle movement of air. Let every breath align with the serene guidance present in every silvered shape, every quiet sound, every tender gleam. Let us drift onward, beneath the full moon's watchful glow, carried by the gentle omens that whisper without words. Now rest, as the stars return and every heart, every shadow, every shimmer moves together in quiet harmony. The night holds its quiet breath, soft and deep, as the moon drifts slowly across the darkened sky. Stars glimmer faintly, tiny sparks of memory scattered above the hills. You float gently over the landscape, feeling the earth beneath like a slow, steady heartbeat. The air carries a cool calm, brushing softly against the skin, as if every breath itself is an invitation to peace. In the distance, hills rise gently, their shapes softened by the moonlight. Along these slopes, faint echoes drift like a whispering wind. They are not loud, not urgent, but gentle traces of voices long past. Heroes of old, whose courage once shaped the paths below, speak in quiet tones that the night alone can carry. You drift among these echoes, letting their presence fill your mind with warmth and stillness. The sounds of the past are subtle, layered into the natural rhythm of the night. A branch sways softly, leaves brushing together, carrying hints of words from long ago. The rustle blends with the distant call of an owl, the faint murmur of a stream, and the soft sigh of the wind through the grass. Each sound carries a lesson, a gentle reflection meant not to instruct but to soothe. You float with them, letting every note calm your thoughts, each echo like a slow, reassuring breath. The soldiers in the camp, resting on the hills below, feel the echoes too. In their sleep, dreams mingle with the soft presence of ancestors. Every flicker of firelight dances alongside these quiet voices, as if the flames themselves lean to listen. Each soldier carries a heartbeat of history within them, a gentle guidance from the spirits of those who walked before. You drift through the camp, noticing how the night cradles both the living and the memories that linger among them. Soft clouds glide across the sky, shifting shapes in the pale moonlight. They cast moving shadows over hills and valleys, painting the earth with patterns that feel intentional, like messages woven from light and dark. In old teachings, clouds were believed to carry whispers from ancestors, subtle hints of paths taken and lessons learned. You drift beneath their motion, feeling the slow rhythm of shadow and light echo in your chest, gentle and unhurried. Along the hilltops, scattered stones reflect moonlight in delicate glimmers. Each small rock seems to hold a quiet memory, as if the earth itself remembers the steps of heroes long gone. Soldiers walk softly among them, placing a hand on a stone, feeling the cold smoothness, sensing the silent stories held within. These are tokens of reflection, symbols of courage and resilience left behind in quiet faith. You drift beside these stones, letting their gentle presence seep into your mind like a soft tide of calm. The wind carries scents of earth and fire, mingling with the faint aroma of pine and moss. Each breath brings a feeling of connection, a reminder that time and life are linked through nature's quiet rhythm. The echoes of ancestors move through this air, brushing past tents and resting figures, whispering in tones of encouragement. You float alongside the wind, noticing how each inhale carries subtle wisdom, and each exhale releases tension and worry. In a small grove on the hill, a circle of stones forms a quiet sanctuary. Here, the echoes are clearer, voices rising and falling like gentle streams. Heroes speak not with urgency but with calm, sharing moments of reflection, courage, and patience. Soldiers sit quietly, listening, even in slumber, letting these whispers settle into the corners of their hearts. You drift near this sacred circle, feeling the quiet power of their presence, letting it cradle your mind in a slow, peaceful rhythm. Above, the stars shimmer, almost imperceptibly moving in their vast paths. Some align with hills and stones, casting faint trails of light like silver rivers. In ancient tales, these alignments were signs, soft guidance from the heavens echoing the lessons of ancestors. You float beneath the stars, letting their gentle gleam touch your thoughts, reminding you of the silent, patient watchfulness of the universe. A distant stream murmurs softly, winding between hills like a silver ribbon. Its waters carry the reflections of moonlight, stars, and the ancient whispers all at once. Soldiers lean near its banks, listening to the soft rush, feeling the calm seep into their arms, shoulders, and hearts. In old stories, flowing water beneath the moon carried messages from past lives and heroic deeds. You drift beside the stream, letting the ripples wash softly over your mind, clearing space for serenity and gentle reflection. Along the horizon, a faint glow appears, a campfire left burning by watchful soldiers. Its light flickers and dances, moving across faces, stones, and patches of grass. In that gentle movement, echoes of the past seem to join the present, bridging time with soft assurance. Each spark is a heartbeat of courage, each shimmer a quiet story. You float through the glow, letting the warmth mingle with the cool moonlight, finding balance in their quiet harmony. The hills themselves seem alive with memory. Trees sway softly, carrying whispers along their branches. Leaves flutter like delicate fingers, brushing the air with gentle messages. The soil hums with life, steady and unhurried, as if acknowledging each story and echo that passes over it. You drift through this living memory, feeling the slow pulse of history, the quiet rhythm of lives lived with care, courage, and faith. Above, the moon arcs slowly, casting shifting patterns over valleys and ridges. Every slope, every hollow is painted with soft silver light, revealing details that were hidden in day's bright glare. Shadows form gentle shapes, echoing forms from past battles, quiet gestures of bravery, or the poised stance of a leader long gone. These soft imprints remind all who see them that guidance often comes in silence, in shape, in subtle reflection. You float with each pattern, letting it settle quietly into your consciousness. Along a narrow path, Footsteps from long ago are etched faintly in the earth. Soldiers notice them, some touching the soil, feeling a connection to those who came before. In sacred tales, the traces of ancestors guided the living, not with commands but with gentle suggestion, a soft reminder of lessons and strength. You drift along the path, following the invisible steps, letting their calm guidance fill your thoughts with peace. The wind carries a faint, almost musical rhythm, leaves brushing, distant water moving, the soft sigh of the night. These sounds blend with the echoes of heroes, creating a slow, harmonious chant that resonates with every heartbeat. In the quiet, you notice how the voices do not demand attention, they offer presence, reminding all of the continuity of courage, wisdom, and quiet faith. You float among this harmony, letting it cradle your mind and ease your chest. In a small clearing, a single tree stands tall, silhouetted against the moon. Its branches sway lightly, leaves whispering softly. From this tree, the echoes seem strongest, carrying messages of patience, reflection, and resilience. Soldiers nearby pause in their rest, sensing its quiet guidance. You drift beneath the branches, letting the soft, trembling light of the moon filter through leaves, feeling the gentle reassurance settle around your shoulders, your thoughts, your heart. Small animals move silently through the night. A hare glides across a field, a fox pauses near a bush, an owl watches from high above. Even in their stillness, they are part of the echoes, embodiments of the calm and attentiveness that the night encourages. In old teachings, such creatures were companions to souls, messengers in silence, guides for those who could see and feel. You drift among them, letting the quiet grace of movement calm your own mind. The night deepens and the echoes grow fainter, blending with the soft sounds of wind, fire, and flowing water. Stars and moonlight continue their gentle vigil, casting soft illumination over the hills, tents, and resting soldiers. You float slowly through the night, carrying the calm assurance of ancestors, the serene rhythm of nature, and the quiet presence of the moon. Let the whispers of heroes, the gentle brush of wind, the shimmer of stars, and the slow ripple of water fill your thoughts. Drift with them, letting every echo, every soft voice, every silvered shadow guide your mind into gentle rest. Let us drift onward, held by the echoes of the ancients, moving slowly with the quiet night. Now rest as the stars return, as every whisper settles into the heart, and as the hills keep their gentle, timeless watch. The desert stretches beneath a sky of soft twilight, its sands glowing faintly in the last whispers of sunlight. The horizon seems endless, a gentle sweep of gold and amber, fading slowly into deeper hues as night begins its quiet descent. You float above the dunes, feeling the smooth curves of the earth beneath, as though every hill and valley is breathing slowly, in rhythm with the world itself. A soft wind moves across the sand, brushing your face with its gentle touch. It carries a faint, warm scent, a mixture of earth and dry grass, of distant herbs hidden among the dunes. This wind is patient, deliberate, and calm, speaking not with words but with feeling. Each sigh of air is a quiet messenger, reminding those who pause to listen that life unfolds at its own measured pace. You drift alongside it, letting its rhythm soothe your chest and mind. The dunes shift with a slow, steady grace, the sands forming small ripples, each a tiny wave frozen in time. In ancient tales, every grain of sand carried a memory, a fragment of the past, a secret waiting to be found by those who moved gently and listened well. You float close enough to see the pattern, the quiet curves and arcs, and feel the still wisdom held within. It is a language of patience, of endurance, of quiet understanding. In the distance, a faint shimmer glows where the sun's last rays linger, brushing the crests of the dunes with soft gold. Travelers moving across the sand leave footprints that vanish slowly behind them, swallowed by the desert's gentle breath. Each step is temporary, yet carries a sense of purpose. The desert teaches that every act, every choice is held lightly, and yet it leaves a mark. You drift over these paths, letting the ebb and flow of the earth's movement fill your thoughts with calm reflection. A solitary figure walks slowly, draped in a robe of muted earth tones. The fabric flutters softly in the wind, and their presence seems to blend with the desert itself. In ancient stories, such travelers were seekers of insight, guided by the silent signs of the land. Each step is deliberate, every pause attentive to the whispers of the wind, the glimmer of sunlight, the subtle shifts in sand and shadow. You float alongside this quiet traveler, sensing the serenity that comes from walking gently, listening deeply. The wind carries the faint murmur of distant dunes colliding, a sound like soft waves against an unseen shore. In this sound, you feel the pulse of time, the slow heartbeat of the desert. Each sigh is a gentle message, telling of endurance and trust, of courage drawn not from force but from patience. You drift with the wind, inhaling its calm and letting it guide your thoughts into soft, measured motion. In small hollows between dunes, shadows gather, forming delicate pools of coolness. These pockets of darkness are soft and still, like a quiet pause in a long melody. In sacred stories, these places were where spirits rested and where the desert's secrets whispered most clearly. You float near, feeling the hush of shadows settle over your mind, carrying away tension and worry, leaving only slow, gentle peace. Above, the sky deepens to twilight, a gradient of purple and navy dotted with early stars. Each star seems to shine with a gentle patience, a soft echo of the desert's own rhythm. Travelers and wanderers, soldiers and pilgrims, all pause under this quiet light, sensing its calm reassurance. The stars, like distant ancestors, offer guidance without words, their quiet presence a reminder of unseen care and enduring trust. You drift among them, feeling the soft pulse of the heavens brushing against your thoughts. A distant caravan moves slowly across the sand, its torches casting flickering glows over dunes and valleys. Each light is a small beacon, a quiet sign of perseverance and steady journeying. The desert does not rush. It teaches the value of measured steps, of gentle endurance, of trust in paths unseen. You float alongside the caravan, feeling the warmth of its soft lights and the patient rhythm of its passage. Scattered rocks glint faintly in the moonlight, their surfaces smooth from centuries of wind and time. These stones seem to hold quiet memories of the desert, fragments of history and lessons woven into the earth. Travelers pause to touch them, feeling the coolness, sensing the slow heartbeat of the land beneath their fingers. You drift close to each rock, letting the calm energy of these ancient stones flow gently into your awareness. The wind shifts, carrying a cooler sigh from distant dunes. It brushes against your cheeks and hair, a tender reminder that every moment holds change, and yet every moment is held within the steady rhythm of life. The desert breathes softly, and in its breathing you feel a slow, rhythmic pulse, a cadence that eases every thought and quiets every worry. You float gently, letting your mind follow the measured pace of the air and sand. Along a narrow path, delicate shadows ripple over the dunes, cast by the shifting moonlight. Each shadow moves with quiet grace, bending and stretching in harmony with the wind. In sacred teachings, these patterns were seen as signs, subtle indicators of direction and timing. You drift along the path, feeling the soft guidance of shadow and light, letting it wash over your awareness like a gentle, steady tide. A small oasis lies ahead, its waters still and mirror-like under the moon. Palm fronds sway slightly, creating tiny whispers against the night sky. Travelers pause to drink, to rest, and to reflect. In old tales, oases were sacred spaces where the desert shared its hidden calm, a quiet gift of renewal and reflection. You float over the water, watching its soft reflections ripple gently, feeling the serene coolness sink into your mind. The desert night hums softly, a lullaby composed of wind, sand, and distant stars. Tiny creatures move quietly through the dunes, their footsteps light, their presence barely noticeable. Even in silence, the desert teems with life, a gentle reminder of resilience and harmony. You drift among them, sensing the delicate balance of nature, the quiet assurance that every element belongs and every moment matters. Above, the moon rises higher, spilling silver across endless sand. Its light catches on grains, making them sparkle like tiny lanterns scattered across the hills. In sacred symbolism, the moon and sand together are patience and clarity, endurance and reflection, guidance from unseen sources. You float through this silvered expanse, letting the moonlight fill your awareness with soft illumination and steady calm. The wind carries a faint, rhythmic hum, blending with the gentle murmur of sand shifting over dunes. This sound is a slow chant, a whisper of endurance, courage, and trust. Travelers move in its rhythm, soldiers pause in their camps, pilgrims rest in its embrace. You drift with the sound, letting each vibration settle deeply into your chest and mind, easing every thought and calming every heartbeat. A solitary lantern flickers faintly among distant tents, its glow soft and steady. The light dances gently over sand and stone, moving with the wind as if breathing alongside the earth. In old stories, such lights were beacons of guidance, small markers of hope and gentle direction in vast, empty spaces. You float toward it, letting its warmth and steady rhythm mingle with the desert's slow pulse, carrying reassurance and quiet understanding. The dunes stretch endlessly in all directions, yet nothing feels empty or harsh. Every curve, every shadow, every breath of wind carries soft presence, gentle guidance, and quiet patience. The desert does not demand. It whispers, encourages, and waits. You drift among the hills and valleys, feeling every sigh of wind, every grain of sand, every shimmer of moonlight, letting the calmness of the desert flow through your mind and body. As the night deepens, the stars multiply, shining gently over dunes and shadows. Each point of light is a soft echo of enduring truth, of patience held, of paths yet to be walked. You drift among the stars, among the sand and wind, feeling a serene connection to all that exists. The desert breathes, slow and measured, and you float within its calm rhythm, knowing every heartbeat of the earth is a lullaby meant to soothe. Let us drift onward with the desert's breath, carried gently on the wind, guided by the soft shimmer of moonlight, the slow ripple of sand, and the quiet whispers of patience and trust. Now rest, as the sands settle under starlight, as the dunes sigh softly, and as every heart is cradled in the calm embrace of the desert's night. The night sky stretches endlessly above the land, a tapestry of deep indigo scattered with countless stars. Their light is soft, steady, like distant lanterns placed by unseen hands. You float beneath them, feeling the vastness of the heavens and the gentle reassurance that they offer. Each star is a quiet guardian, a tiny pulse of calm shining down upon the earth. The battlefield below rests in muted shadows. Tents ripple softly in the night breeze, and armor catches the faint glimmer of moonlight, turning it into silvery glints. The soldiers move slowly, speaking in whispers, their actions measured and careful. There is no rush, only the steady rhythm of breath and the slow murmur of night. You drift above, letting the world's quiet breath match your own.